Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines. Today I thought I'd talk about my trip down to the Hua Hin Government Hospital. Today I made a plan. I went once already. I tried to go out to get a checkup. I have an inguinal hernia and I was going to see about getting it fixed here. I'd already went to the Bangkok hospital and saw the doctor there, the surgeon there, and I got a price estimate from them. It was 130,000 baht, which was going to be like $4,000. And I thought, well, there's another government hospital. What could it hurt to go out and get a second opinion there? So I went out once the other day. They were closed. It was a holiday. And I was also, now I found out I was at the wrong place anyway. So that was a bust. I came home from that. But now I know that's the one where the massage parlor was underneath. That was the wrong place. That's a doctor's checkup place. I guess you can get up blood pressure and all that stuff. Just a physical there, I guess. But where I needed to go was the actual Hua Hin Government Hospital. So this morning I jumped it, got a Grab again. Second time I've ever used Grab now. And it cost 120 baht to go. It's a few miles, about five, seems like it's about 4 miles, 5 miles. It's quite a ways down the road. Maybe it ain't. To me, I'm lost at it all the time anyway. But so the Grab drops me off there, and I went in, and it's kind of an open air hospital. It's kind of strange. You never see that in the U.S. But there's offices that are all enclosed and air conditioned when you go in. It was modern. Everything seemed like a little dated. You know, it was like seemed like there was a 1970s vibe to the building. But other than that, I walked up to the main counter. Everything's written in Thai. Remember that, everything. So you don't know what to do. And then if you're lucky, you'll catch something in English. But anyway, I walked up to the counter where everybody was waiting, so I just got in line and waited there and got up to my counter, and she says they didn't speak very, very good English at all. They couldn't understand me, but I told her my name, or I just said I'd like to see a doctor. She says, see a doctor? I said, yeah, see a doctor. So she goes, passport, and I gave her my passport. And she's doing a bunch of scanning and typing up on a computer and making a copy, and she looks back and phone number, and luckily I had that wrapped back. I haven't even memorized my own phone number yet because I just got over one in the Philippines too, so couldn't memorize that one. I can't memorize this one yet because I'm not calling anybody. It's just you need it for renting a place. You do need a phone number, a local phone number. They'll want it when you rent a place. It's the first thing they'll ask you, or anything here. They're going to ask you a phone number right off the bat. So I got a phone number, but anyway. So then she goes, go to window number 1, and I pointed that way, and I'm always lost when they're trying to give me directions. So I walk over that way, and I just happened to be walking. Like the next window over was in window 1. So I went up there, and she gave me I went to window 1, and the window 1 lady gave me an actual card. I actually got a hospital card now, so I can just walk right into that hospital, I guess. And she gave me a paper and told me to go to the surgery place and check in there. She explained where it was, but of course I went out and was immediately lost. It's an open air thing, and you got an elevator that was hidden way on the other side, and the stairs are way back there. I couldn't find anything. And luckily some lady saw I was lost and came up and asked me what, and I showed her my paper. That's, by the way, it's 100% written in Thai. There's nothing English on it. I hand it to her, and she goes, oh, up there. And then I walk up. I was like trying to get up there, and I went into this lower level, and I was walking. Pretty soon that lady was following me. She came in, she tapped me on the shoulder, and she goes, no, come this way. And I went out. She pointed down the hall, and the elevator was down there. It was way down in the weird spot, really hard to see, way on the end of the building. And so I walked down there and took the stairs. Of course, I don't believe in elevators if I don't have to. So anywhere I go up, and then there was another office in there, and I go in, and it was pretty packed. There was looked like about 40 people in there, maybe 40 or so, yeah. And I was there at like 8 o'clock, 8:10 in the morning. So they say it opens at 6. So I was waiting there, or I went up to the waiting line, and there was another line, so I just kind of got into that too. Everything was written in Thai, so I just got into the line at the counter, and I went up and handed her my paper, and she didn't say much to me, just pointed next right there, and they were taking blood pressure right there. So I was like, that? And she's like, yeah. And so I just got into that line, and there was just a few, and then I got in there. 3 girls took my blood pressure, stuck it in a machine. It was a little high. I was embarrassed about that. I got to go on a more low-carb diet than I'm on right now. I don't know how. Maybe it's these tight shorts. I'm wearing kind of an athletic supporter to keep my hernia in place better. So I don't want it to happen anymore, because I still exercise and stuff. So I wear kind of an athletic supporter. It's actual like a brief, but it's just got a wide band on the top. So I'm using that. Maybe that's squeezing my torso and raising my blood pressure too. I think that. And plus I was exercising before I got there. But anyway, I was told to go sit and wait. And she pointed on my piece of paper, there's the number. It was a big number right there. It was like that was my waiting number. They were waiting to call. So I sat down over by myself in a row that was mostly empty, and it was just sitting there by myself. And there was a few other foreigners there. There was another lady, and she was loud, right not far from me, just over in the next aisle. And she was talking to a black lady in a wheelchair there. And there was also a foreigner guy, older guy, and I thought she was with that lady. There was 3 foreigners sitting together anyway, a black lady and 2 white foreigners sitting there. And the white lady was southern lady. She could tell she had a southern drawl, so I know she was talking about the U.S. And I couldn't help but sit there and overhear her conversation. And what she was telling the lady in the wheelchair, I think that lady was from a different country, because she was explaining things in America. But she explained she had a problem in the U.S. I don't know what it was, but she was needing a blood transfusion every day or a few days or something. And it was costing her $5,000 every time she had to do that. And then there was a surgery she could have got to fix her problem, but it was going to cost her $63,000, and she was already in debt $40,000. And I was overhearing all this. And I was sitting there, and she says she's leaking fluid or something through her belly button. Something like maybe she has a hernia, or they put a tube in her belly button or something. She was leaking fluid. That's what she was back for today anyway. She wasn't that old lady. She was probably in her 50s, 40s or so. Southern American lady. And then she went on and said she went and got the operation here. I don't know what operation, she didn't say. But she goes, I spent 3 days in the hospital. And it sounds like for my hernia surgery, I'm going to have to spend a day or 2, they're saying. I know in the U.S. it's a day surgery and they let you out the same day, but here they want to keep you for 2 days, 1 or 2 days. The Bangkok hospital told me 1 day, I think. So anyway, she said they made her stay two days, and they brought her into a big giant room. And she says she was worried about not being able to afford anything. She says, I can't stay in this big room. I can't afford this. Put me in the ward where everyone else is. And she said they put me in a place where there were 6 other patients, and the beepers and monitors all going off. I'm sure you'd never sleep or nothing there. Excuse me. So she went on about that, and then she goes, and in the end, I was so surprised. He goes, the whole time they would never tell me how much it's going to cost me, because you're worried all this time. I'm the same way. How much is this going to cost, And they won't tell you nothing. And then she says that at the end, they got my bill for surgery, and 2 or 3, could have been 3 days in the hospital. She said it was $800. And I'm like, wow. I didn't say it. Of course, I'm sitting over there just overhearing all this, and I'm like, wow. I hate to get my hopes up high, but I know in the U.S. my operation, just a simple basic hernia operation, would have cost me. I Googled it, and in Alaska it would have been between $8,000 and $30,000. It was just a ballpark figure, and then that's if everything went fine. And I would have had to get myself into Anchorage, and that would have cost me $1,000 in plane rides, and probably another $1,000 in hotel or more. So it was just cost inefficient. Since I was coming here to Asia anyway, I thought I'd give it a try or check around over here. And Thailand's got the best. They're like 3rd in the world in medical care. There's a lot of medical tourism here. So if I can come here, and I'm already here anyway, and get it fixed, I figure I'll try. If I can get it for less than $4,000, I'll be saving myself some money, And it sounds like she got a surgery and a hospital stay for 2 or 3 days for $800. And I read in the reviews on Google, another person was saying the same thing. They had an actual umbilical hernia repaired at this very hospital, and it cost them $750 something dollars. So that's kind of cool. And I'm hoping for the same if they'll do it, you know. In these government hospitals, I've read also that some of the same surgeons are the same surgeons that are working in the private hospitals too. So you're probably going to get the same level of care. That's what they're all saying in the reviews and stuff. The level of care is the same. The hospital's a little more rundown. And I agree, it was, you know, there was construction going on. But at every hospital, it seems like there's always some kind of construction going on. A little bit, you know, they're doing this and that, remodeling and stuff. But the actual, it was clean. Everything was nice and clean. If there was a candy wrapper on the floor, I seen a cleaning lady come and pick it right up. No problem, no time at all. So, but anyway, after overhearing the lady in there, sitting there for a while, and then all of a sudden I was there about a half hour after listening to her overhearing her conversation, eavesdropping, I guess. But you couldn't help it. You know how some American women are, they're just loud. So I couldn't help. The whole town, all the Thais couldn't understand it, but they had to listen to it. But anyway, so then we were sitting there about another half an hour, and a guy came over to this gentleman that was sitting with her, the other foreigner, and he showed him his paper or something, and they got up and he brought him over to the counter, and they went off somewhere, and that was strange. I could actually see the number on her paper. She was 62 and I was 68, so I know if she got up and left, then my turn might be coming. I was expected to sit there. They say the wait times are 4 to 5 hours in that hospital. I mean, you're sitting in a waiting room for 4 to 5 hours waiting to see the doctor. That's what the reviews all said. And everybody I talked to, even this hairdresser asked how long it'll be waiting. She said 4 to 5 hours. I was like, wow. But I'm prepared. I'm mentally prepared. You know, that's saving me big money. If I could sit there, I'd camp out for a week or two there if it saved me a few grand. So anyway, I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden they got an announcement over the loudspeaker, and about half the room got up and walked up to the counter. The announcement, of course, was all in Thai. So me and the other Americans and about the other half of the Thais just sat there. And the other half of the room got up and walked to the counter, and they all started getting some paperwork shuffled at the desk at the same time, and then they all filed out somewhere. And I thought, well, they're going to see him in mass or something, or what's going on? They were all waiting in surgery to see a surgeon like me to talk to, something, I guess. So they all got out, and I sat there another 15, 20 minutes, and then finally the lady got up and walked over. Or no, I got up and I walked over, and I was trying to figure out what was going on because I think we'd missed out on something. And I went up to the counter and I showed her my number, and I said, "They called the number yet?" And just pointed at the number. And then she took the paper and she started writing on it. And she goes, "The surgeon's not in today. We'll make you an appointment for Tuesday, 8 o'clock in the morning. Be here at 8 o'clock. You'll see the surgeon at 10 a.m. I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I went down, and I guess it was normal. The surgeon canceled out. I didn't have an appointment anyway, so I was just showing up randomly, and that's what I get for sure, you know, and that's fine. I was half expecting would have been that's my second strikeout, but anyway, I got another. Well, I'm 1 for 2 now. I saw the Bangkok hospital. That was a walk right in and sit right down kind of deal. That went real smooth, just like this. For me, other than if I would have had to wait for the 4.5 hours, that would have been a big long wait. In Bangkok hospital, they filed me from the paper filing work right past the waiting room for the surgeon and right into the doctor's office, right past about 6 patients that were sitting there, and I felt weird about that. I was like, just go right in? Yeah, go right in. Walk past all these people growling at me almost. They weren't, but I mean, I was willing to wait, you know, but they brought me right in and saw me right away. So anyway, that's where I am now. I'm at least, now I got an appointment, and I got my medical card for there, so I can just go and flip that out, and I'm a Thai medical. But I think it's free for all the Thai people. They get free medical there, and of course will charge us. But wow, what a discount if I can get that. Even half off would be so amazing, you know, save a couple of grand. I'm pinching my pesos here, so a couple of grand would sure help me. I was prepared to pay the $4 grand to get it done in Bangkok, but I know it it's a big kind of kick in the nuts to pay all at once. So and if this is worth it, and they got the same doctors, you know, sometimes it might be worth it. Maybe I'm hopeful thinking, and I'll get what I paid for. You know, this will be a bad situation. You don't want to take that chance on your body, but I think I will. I think the reviews speak for themselves. There was another lady, like I said, that got this umbilical hernia, and she was jumping with joy. She got a private room. She was the one that's kept the private room and everything for 2 days, and she got the umbilical surgery, and it was done by a woman. She said, he said, maybe it was a he and a woman surgeon, I think, is what it said. So that they got it done, and when I figured up how many, she told me how many baht. It was supposed to be 35,000 baht, and it ended up only being 25 in the end. She said it was cheaper than their price quote, 25,000 baht. And I translated that into US, and that came to 700 and something, 740 or something. So that was a pretty good deal, you know. A couple of nights stay in the hernia, that would be perfect for me. Yeah, that's what I want. But anyway, that's my hope, wishful thinking. Anyway, I got to make it happen. She mentioned they asked her to. I heard that lady. I overheard her say they needed somebody to stay there with them. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to find someone. I can ask the hairdresser lady if she knows anyone. She's working. I don't know if she will. But she'll probably have somebody that can help me out some way. She's been real helpful calling me up on everything, so we'll see. But anyway, that was my experience at the Hua Hin Government Hospital, and I have to say its service was just as good as the other hospital. No different for me. Anyway, it was quick and efficient, and there was no lollygagging. They either had you registered or waiting, you know. They weren't standing in line somewhere. They got through to everybody and sat you down and told you where you're going to go and who you're going to see if it came to when you see them. Well, anyways, we'll keep you posted on how the medical goes, and we'll see what goes on. I'll keep you updated. Hopefully we'll get this over with, done with. Thanks again. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.